What if the hardest part of giving a conference talk isn't writing it, it's naming it? And what if you could make the three of the world's best AI models fight it out for you, then secretly grade each other's homework? Stick around to the end, because the very script you're hearing right now has a meta twist that might break your brain. Here's the setup. I'm pitching a conference talk, and the abstract is solid. It's about how AI coding assistants went from cute $19 a month autocomplete toys into massive enterprise-priced autonomous agents. Big shift, big opinions, big talk. The content is locked. The title? Total blank, because a great title has to do three things at once. It has to be clear, it has to be intriguing, and it has to signal substance without sounding like clickbait. Too literal? Nobody clicks. Too clever? Nobody knows what it means. Too hyped? Eye roll, scroll past. Oh, you know the loop. You type something, you hate it, you delete it, you go make coffee, and the cursor is still blinking when you get back. Naming things is famously one of the two hard problems in computer science, and I was losing. So instead of guessing, I turned it into an experiment. I opened Zenflow and let the agents cook. Quick context on Zenflow: it's an agentic dev and automation environment, and the part I care about today is that it lets you spawn parallel sub-agents using different LLMs and orchestrate them like a team. So here's the play. I spawned 3 sub-agents in parallel, one running Anthropic's Opus, one running OpenAI's Codex, one running Google's Gemini Pro. Same input to each, the abstract, plus one instruction. Give me 5 phenomenal, punchy candidate titles, no fluff. 3 models, 5 titles each, 15 candidates in about the time it takes to refill that coffee. And honestly, they were all kind of decent, which is the worst possible outcome, because now I have 15 kind of decent options and 0 way to pick. I'm back where I started, just with more tabs open. I don't want to pick the winner, I want them to pick the winner. So step 1. Concatenate all 15 titles into a single list. Step 2. Anonymize everything. Strip model identity, no tags, no hints, just titles. Step 3. Open 3 fresh sessions of the same 3 models. Brand new context, no memory of what they originally suggested, and hand each one the anonymous list with the same prompt. Rank these from best to worst. Now, each model is acting like an independent judge, not a defining author. They don't know who wrote what, they don't even know which ones are theirs. The pattern is simple: parallel generation, identity stripping, independent blind evaluation, orchestrated aggregation. The orchestrator collects the 3 rankings, cross-references them against the original attribution, and produces 3 things: an aggregated leaderboard, a written summary of why certain titles rose to the top, and the part I actually cared about, the stats. Not vibes, evidence. Talk has a name. But the most interesting part of this experiment wasn't the winner, it was the voting behavior. The juicy question: did any model rank its own suggestions higher than the others did? Self-preference, narcissism, but make it neural. The data says Opus and Gemini showed mild self-bias, while Codex seemed to be the most honest judge. Then there are voting blocks. Did 2 models consistently agree while icing out the third? Well, Opus and Gemini actually picked the exact same titles as their top 5, just in slightly different order. And of course the outliers. Titles, one judge ranked at the top and another buried at the bottom. Gemini's title was ranked last by Gemini itself, while Codex put it in top 5. And you can stretch this further too. Short and punchy versus descriptive, question style versus declarative, jargon heavy versus plain. It's a real look at how different architectures think about what makes a human language land. And I never had to manually referee 3 giant chat threads. Zenflow handled the orchestration, I just read the results. But I promised you a meta twist. Here it is. How do you think I wrote the script for this video? Same pattern, pushed one step further, to test identity versus anonymity. 3 sub-agents, Opus, Codex, Gemini Pro, each wrote a full draft for this exact video. 3 voices, 3 structures, 3 different jokes about coffee. That's 3 originals. Then I ran 2 compilation paths in parallel. Path A, the blind path. The 3 drafts were anonymized, attribution stripped, and sent to fresh sub-agents of the same 3 models. Each fresh model read 3 anonymous drafts and compiled its own final version. The ego path. The drafts went back into the original sessions, where each model already had its own draft and context. The other 2 were attached with full attribution reserved. So Opus knew which draft was Opus's, which was Codex's, which was Gemini's, and was asked to compile a final from there. Same for the other 2. 6 compiled finals plus 3 originals. 9 versions of this video, depending on which compile you ran. The one you're hearing right now is one of them. The interesting bit isn't which draft won, it's the difference between path A and path B. Does a model write a fairer compile when it doesn't know which draft is its own? Does identity make the compile more diplomatic or more political? Do fresh sessions produce cleaner synthesis? do original sessions, protect their own phrasing, you are literally watching the answer. We are past the era of asking one chatbot one question and copying the answer. The pattern is that simple. Fan out to multiple models in parallel, anonymize, have them judge each other, aggregate and inspect the stats instead of trusting your gut. You can use it for talk titles, PR reviews, naming variables, picking thumbnails, architecture decisions, roadmap prioritization, anything where taste matters and you don't fully trust your own. If you want to steal the pattern, Zenflow makes spawning the parallel subagents about as hard as opening a new tab. Run your own title fight. Drop your top candidates and your own stats in the comments. And tell me which model you think wrote the version of the script you just watched, and whether it was a path A compile or a path B. I genuinely don't know which one you got. That's kind of the point.